match that with your play and effort, because the guys that are supposed to be the leaders need to do a better job of leading. Now, there's
Mhm.
plenty of blame to go around when you get here. Players, coaches, you could say the administration,
Blame everybody.
the scheduling they play over and out. There's plenty that you could point to. But at the end of the day, the players need to come together and decide what they want to do. And if somebody is kind of him hawing around, whether by their actions or by what they're saying, oh, then they need to go.
What does that start with? Like, where
then
does
you need
that
to go.
conversation start? Because I know,
The
Jay, you
conversation
always
starts
said, like,
in the locker room.
That's got to start with the players. They've got to.
that's
They've
what
got
you
to
said. You
police
were always held
themselves.
accountable, and you always held other players
Right.
accountable.
Yeah,
But
and they held me accountable.
Right,
So if I
right.
wasn't pulling my weight, then you're gonna tell. So at the end of the day, you got to start having hard conversations and making sure these conversations are continuous to be had. I don't need you to work hard for a week. I need you to work hard because you're a hard worker.
Yep.
Because coaches can structure practice and make you work hard. They can run you. They can make you run a 50 million plays and all that. But are you a hard worker? Are you working outside of practice? Are you working before practice? Treatment and film. Are you working after practice? Treatment, film, weights.
I mean, are you actually paying attention in practice and not just going through the movements?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that too. I mean, but are you doing other stuff than you're doing? I would say,
yeah, taking care of your body after practice.
What have you done? What have you sacrificed? Because when you're 1-3, when you should probably be 3-1, I'd ask what you sacrificed. Were you too comfortable reading Twitter this summer and believing the hype? Were you too comfortable thinking we were 3-9 last year and the only team ever to lose 9 games or however one score games, and we're the best 3-9 team? Did you really think that was success?
Our defense played well last year.
Okay, or I mean, to be honest with you, okay, let's just play, I guess, devil's advocate, right? So you have the badge of being the best 3-9 team of all time,
right?
Yep.
So the teams that you're playing, they're seeing the same thing. So that means they're preparing for you like you're actually legit, that you're a 9-3 team.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. Just because you were 3-9, they're not overlooking you because you're the best 3-9.
Other coaches even said that in press conferences. They were like, Nebraska's not a 3-9 team.
So
like,
then
it's not a team you sleep on.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you better come with it. So, those are the things that, look, I always say the price of that, or of the pain of discipline only lasts a little bit. But the pain of regret sometimes can last a lifetime. And a lifetime in football is a lost game or a season or an opportunity. I was just talking to one of my former teammates, and we were talking about 96. We could have, because we won 3 out of the 4 years, right? 96 we didn't. And I was like, well, we could have won 4 in a row. Then he was like, well, at the end of the day, even if we didn't win in 97, we should have won in 96. We would have won 3 in a row. Something never done behind. I'm thinking like we would have won 3 in a row and then 4. Never done. Ever. Maybe ever again. But that 1 year is what we won 3 national championships. We're talking about 96. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you've got all this to be happy about, but the one thing you remember on and you focus on is the one mess up.
And when you get that taste of winning a championship, it's like nothing else. What these guys would get that's equivalent to a championship, they're actually living up to your expectations and having a winning season, then going to a bowl game
literally
and
being 6-6, 7-5.
Right. That's the start.
Exactly.
And see that
and
right,
you build on it.
That right there will propel you 2 steps in the off season, and then in the season, then you're going to start to see some kind of, regular good play. So there's a lot that they can do. They got time, right? Because they had a bye week and it's a good timing of everything. But time waits for no man and no team. So the time is now. Even though you do have time, time's ticking. And as you get close to the end of the season, it ticks a little bit louder and a little bit faster. So they got to, if you want to slow down the time, I guess, the clock, go out there and play well and get a win against Indiana.
I mean, hell, the bye week is pretty much over. Like if I remember Mickey on Tuesday correctly, I think they practice today. They have tomorrow off. Then coaches are on the road. The players kind of have to do their own thing to get their own practices in, get their own workouts in before Sunday or maybe even Tuesday, because they have Mondays off from practices. So the bye week's almost over. You're coming up on another game week.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's too early in the season to think about like this is a vacation. This season, when you play football, there is no vacation. Even like in the NFL, you have a bye week. Guys might go for a day or two, but you're not going to party. You're actually just going to kind of re-energize and relax your mind and body but you're not having a bye week in the NFL until like usually like after 8 weeks in the season. Dude, the party just getting started.
Yeah.
And so this isn't a time to go home and wherever you're from, and you think you need to, kick it with your boys and do stuff you wouldn't be doing during. This is a regular game week.
This is where the captains and leaders in the locker room need to step up and keep everybody together and get their own workouts in.
Doing whatever you're doing because you're all grown, right? Everybody's, but at the end of the day, don't mess up, because not only when you mess up, you're going to be in trouble with the coaches, but you got to deal with us as well. And the season is not lost. And that's what also you need to do. That's isn't
the craziest part. They're only 0-1 in the Big Ten.
It's not even about this. You got 8 more games, dude.
I know. You can literally still win the Big Ten West.
Right.
Easily.
Yeah. But you're not going to do anything. So we don't do anything right now that's going to stop you from winning in a week. Is it worth it? That's what you have to say. Is it really worth it? And it's not even if you go home and party. It's okay. Even say for me, say I went back to Minnesota, right? And say if we had a bye week. Okay, would I find a place to work out, whether it's at my high school or at a gym? Would I still eat right within reason? Because you don't want to come back out of shape and lose any type of, strength deficiencies or have a strength deficiency because you decided to lay around on a couch and eat potato chips for 3 days.
Yeah, just sitting around and not doing anything for a weekend. Is that going to be worth it?
Right. Then you get out there in a game a week later and you're gassed. See, that's when the regret comes in. Is it really worth? Was that bag of Lay's potato chips really good, or the nachos?
Was that extra hour of TV shows worth it?
Right.
Instead of going out and getting a quick workout in.
Right.
Any kind of work. It's not like you have to go out and get an entire thing in. You just got to do something.
Just keep your iron sharp. So, so it's going to show some maturity of guys, and they'll deal with it internally, and the majority of the guys will do the right thing. But you don't want to be that guy that's the focus. That's taking away the focus, which needs the main focus once you come back is Indiana. You know what I mean? Because you got to think, if they went back to the basics, Nebraska against Nebraska this week, you don't want to be the focus of all the positive things that you hopefully have done in practice to get out of your way so you're not embarrassed again at home.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be that guy. Me and Jay and Rico don't want to be the guys that are late getting back in town, or the guys say we got in trouble or something. And then now we're the subject of the conversation versus the improvement Nate's been making over the last 3 weeks in practice. And he's going to get into the, game or the game plan somehow, or, Coach or Bill Bush, taking over the defense and make, now we're the subject of stupid conversation. So, it'd be, it's a good weekend for them to kind of get away a little bit because they've been dealing with some, hectic stuff, but
it's been a lot.
Gotta be smart. So we're going to head to break, and I think we got Kevin Myers here.
Uncle Kev's in the hallway.
Is he here?
Yep.
Let's go.
We'll be right back in what, Nate? About 5 minutes?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes. 300 seconds.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a boot and clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals. An entire week celebrating Lincoln's Craft Brewers is just around the corner. September 26th through October 2nd is Lincoln Craft Brew Week. Head to lincoln.org/beer tour for a complete schedule of events at your favorite local establishments. Brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Oktoberfest is back. Dust off your lederhosen and head to Kincaid Brewing in the Haymarket for one of their favorite parties of the year. enjoy exclusive beers plus sausages and pretzels from the brand new Beer House. And make sure you get to Kinkaider early to snag an Oktoberfest mug. It all starts at noon this Saturday with live music all the way through the day, plus cornhole, axe throwing, and Stein Stamina. It's Oktoberfest at Kinkaider in the Haymarket starting at noon this Saturday.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and things are cooking in Louisville. Right now, our pre-owned sales are off the charts, and we have loaded up the lots full of inventory. We've got a great supply of Sierras, Silverados, Tahoes, Yukons, and crossovers. Plus, we've got a great supply of back-to-school cars just in time for the big day. Don't forget about all of those new 2022 and 2023 units arriving every day as well. So please take that short, money-saving drive down 144th Street or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Why wait until Friday to start your weekend?
Go ahead, start right now.
You're thirsty now, and 93.7 The Ticket is here to help you stock up.
Just in time for the weekend when I like to hit the clubs.
Time to broaden your horizons and try some new wine and beer. It's Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
There it is. We are back.
Woo!
Thirsty Thursday.
Kevin.
You heard it. But Strick ain't here, so we're going to partake. Strick had he thought he had big business because he got somewhere to be on Monday. He missing out.
Sorry, Stricky, my boy.
My boy.
We got Kevin in here. Kevin's always bringing us some nice goodies.
I'm going to take home the wine now.
There you go.
Kevin, how's your Thursday?
Busy. Yeah, Thursdays are truck days, so all the delivery trucks show up, and so get to play stock boy and do the thing.
So much fun.
Make the shop look good.
So what do we got here? We got a wine. What do we got for wine here?
Let's start. Well,
you want to start with the brewskis?
Yeah, let's start with the
brewski.
brewski. I gotta get this
go,
poured,
Rico.
so we gotta fill.
What is it? This is a little dark brew.
Kind of amber. This is a. We're still in Oktoberfest season.
Okay.
And this is an actual. This is for an actual Marzen, which is the basically back in 1810. Prince Ludwig got engaged and to be married, and
invited the whole town.
The whole town. So we're kind of repeating the story week by week.
So this is an ale, kind of, right?
Actually, it's a lager.
Your lager?
It looks like an ale
You're
because of its color.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, so a traditional German beer operates under what's called the German purity law, and it can only be made of 4 things, and that's hops, water, grain, and yeast. And a lager basically takes 6 to 8 weeks to completely ferment because they're fermented at colder temperatures, and then when it's complete, the yeast and everything floats to the bottom, so they call it a bottom fermenting beer. Takes a lot longer to make. An ale, it ferments at warmer temperatures and can completely ferment out in about a week to 10 days, and then everything floats to the top, what they call a top fermenting yeast. And so what they do with this, they take the traditional German lager and then they roast the malts a little bit, giving it a little bit of that malty color, a little bit of that caramely color, and a little more body. And this was the style of beer that they created for Oktoberfest. And We're
And
finally getting the weather. So
It
like
tastes
today?
Oktober festy.
it's quarter zip season, and I'm happy for it.
Hoodie season.
Let me ask you this, Kevin. Do you ever watch like Game of Thrones and stuff like that, and Tudors and the old school, like about?
I haven't gotten into those yet. I'm not
Yeah,
ruling it out. I just haven't done
I
it
just
yet.
want to ask you because they seem to, when they have a big celebration, drink it. I'm assuming it's ale, right?
Yeah.
And they get hammered. So
Yeah.
what were they drinking back then? Or I know it's the shows and movies, but they were getting lit.
Yeah. They're probably doing a little bit of everything. They
Right.
probably, they would make what's called mead
Yeah.
was really popular back in those days. Wine made from honey.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they would just take, honey and water and add yeast and let it ferment into a wine. And
It was
they-
was it potent or was it strong?
Oh, yeah. They get
'cause-
yoked.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it seems like when they would have like big meetings, it would be just one cup and they're just
yeah.
bent.
But it feels like it seems as if they spilt most of it, so
Yeah,
they
they
drink
did.
about half of it, and they're still getting.
Well,
turned.
sanitization wasn't exactly their strong point, but
Didn't matter.
This is
Yeah.
good, man. I like it. It fits today. It fits like you're
This is
sitting out
simple.
and
It's very
watching.
good.
You know what this fits like, Kevin? It fits like we're sitting out in my back the patio, and we roll a TV out there. Or actually, my garage. I like
Patio
watching-
pounder.
No, I like watching football in my garage. Nice, cool day. Just we're not even going to fire up the grill. We're just kicking it, solving the world's problems.
Garage door open.
And we're watching West Virginia beat the brakes off of
Whoa,
Virginia.
whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
We're watching West Virginia.
That's where we draw the
They're
line.
showing. They're showing on the TV.
They're showing
no,
they're showing
no.
West Virginia beating the brakes off Virginia Tech, and
Here.
then we're celebrating.
I got
I'm
something for
I'm
you right
thinking
here, Jay.
thinking one of those portable fire pits. We're
Yeah.
sitting around there.
Yeah.
Almost heaven.
Virginia.
Blue Ridge
This guy.
Mountain.
That's how the song goes.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
know.
make
that
it
song.
very
He's
clear.
obsessed.
You don't know that song?
This is good.
It's about
though.
Virginia.
This is good. What do we got next here, Kevin?
This does feel like a nice little porch beer.
Yeah,
Patio
so-
pounder.
Just watching the leaves change colors.
So this is from Prost Brewing, and they're in Colorado, and
Mm.
all they make basically are German style beers.
really
So
This is
what?
something that, like, if it's Halloween,
Perfect.
yeah. If you got little kids and they're going trick or treating,
Mhm.
yeah. Some of these parents be bent when they come up. Can't even this is what you need. Just a case of this, and you'll be good.
just
well-
walk around pushing the
Yeah, start at
pushing
4
the stroller.
o'clock and end at 10.
Back when my kids were little and we lived in town, there was always a garage that the parents would go to, and then let the kids then go from
Yeah.
there. And so we would have our own sort of trick or treat, and it was more probably treats than tricks.
Yeah.
But
This is good, man.
yeah.
I might need to get some of this for when I'm
Yeah,
pushing-
Prost Brewing
pushing the
out of
stroller
Colorado,
around.
German style lager, 5.8%, so not super heavy. Nice little amber color, just easy drinking, great fall beer.
Yeah,
That's
not
what
too
it's all
heavy
about.
either.
This
Yeah.
is a quarter zip walking around the neighborhood.
That's a quarter zip walking around the neighborhood. Booze cruise with the little ones.
Nice,
Delicious.
nice.
What do we got next here?
All right, so this is called Terra Rouge, which literally means red earth.
Mm.
And let's face it, we live in red earth, right? And so in my efforts to remain topical at all times, I decided that I would bring this in. It's my favorite new wine in the shop. It's from the Easton family.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is an original founder of this group called the Rhone Rangers. And the Rhone Rangers are winemakers that set out to duplicate the style of wines from the French Rhone Valley, which is the southeastern part of the country. And Syrah is one of their main grapes. The big three are what they call the GSM blend, or Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre. But they can use actually up to 13 different grape varietals to make the wine from, and they blend them all together, and they'll even throw small percentages of white wine in the red. And Syrah is a grape that has a real like peppery component to it. This is some of the oldest Syrah in California. This is in the Sierra foothills. And so, it's cool outside. We're in
Smooth.
quarter
Nate
zip
O'Brien.
season.
That's
We're
smooth.
also in chili season, and a wine like this is my favorite wine to go with chili because it has that peppery component.
Ooh.
I could see that.
This would be a Strix pick. Did you
I think so.
bring it for Strick? That's the thing. You've been bringing
Don't-
a lot of reds
yeah,
lately,
don't
Kevin.
bring Strick nothing, man. He
No,
don't never
Strick
be
doesn't get
around.
it. No, he
This
doesn't
is-
get anything.
But the
It's-
reds are delicious.
It's
I-
red
It is
sizzling.
good. It is
When it
good.
was 100 outside, I got to bring the whites and the rosés and
Yeah,
the light,
True, right,
cold
right.
stuff.
Cool it
Yeah,
down.
right.
This is our time now. It's
I
No,
red season.
Kevin, I want to ask you if you went to when you go to somebody's, say, like a house party or a get together, Do you judge them based on the wine or alcohol they have out for you?
No. I'm not a snob by any stretch.
No, not a snob, but like
I feel like
say it's an occasion. Say everybody's getting together and watching football, and the wife and kids are going somewhere else, but the guys are getting together.
Well, no, you drink like Busch Light sometimes, don't you?
Yeah,
they should have a certain amount of things you need to watch football.
But if if they went to Myers Cork and Bottle,
like booze,
they went to Myers Cork and Bottle and picked up some Busch.
Well, that's the only thing that gets me is that they'll have oh, we bought all this booze and glad you can make it. I'm like, you didn't buy it from me.
Yeah. Oh, you bought all this booze. I didn't see you in the shop.
You should have said, you know what? Would you pay for that? And they'll say so-and-so. Well, I would have gave you 20% discount.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah, and your offer is now nullified.
Sorry about it. Now you got to pay 20% more.
Yeah. Well,
this is good, man.
But yeah,
I understand it too, though, because sometimes,
Nate, what's the occasion you're gonna bring that home for? What you doing? You trying to?
I don't know. I'm
gonna
bring it home. No, I'm just gonna bring. I made a sweeping declaration last week. I'm only drinking Reds from now on.
Nice.
Why?
Kevin's convinced me. Because I used to, before Kevin came in, I did not like Reds. I really did not like Reds. But the more I've opened up my palate, I've started drinking more Reds. They're pretty good.
Oh, I didn't like wine at all. My wife was actually pissed at me because she was trying to get me on wine for a long time. She goes, and then all of a sudden you start drinking with Kevin and you like wine. I was like, look,
no, it's true.
Uncle Kev, he just describes it. I don't know.
He'll open up your palate because I had Moscato the other day and I was like, this is too sweet.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't know if I like
now.
this anymore.
Yeah,
I know.
You're not a child anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've graduated.
Kevin, come on now.
I've graduated.
Have you ever been to a wine tasting?
I never have.
I've only been Chris Brown. It was when we were playing in Houston. I think his wife got a wine tasting for his friends. We went, and it was right by the house. So my best friend Jamal was in town, and he's a wine. He had been drinking one because he's been working like medical sales. So he'd been at now I'd never drank wine before, and we got annihilated. I mean, because they were just bringing it out. And
It'll sneak up on you. It'll sneak up on you.
Hey, we were bent. 12 o'clock the next day, I was on the couch just struggling.
Those wine hangovers too, they hurt.
Wine drunk is not a great drunk.
No, no, it's a great drunk. It's just not great the next day.
No, it's not.
But the great thing about this Terra Rouge is that this Easton guy will not sell his wine until he feels it's ready. So this is a 2016 vintage. It's already 16 years old. Everything else coming into the shop is 2020, and even starting to turn 2021. With the whites, but we have seen a couple of 2021 reds. This is 16, so he barrel ages it and bottle ages it, and will not sell it until it's ready. These go for about $26, and to me, it's a $50 wine.
Do you know how how he would determine when he decides it's good to go?
Just by his expertise, by his palate, by he made the wine, so he's looking for certain characteristics of the wine to develop. And once he feels it's developed to that point where he wants to release it, then he will. Not everyone has that luxury, because you can't really wait 6 years for an ROI, return on investment for those of you playing at home. But it's just velvety smooth. You get that peppery component. It's a great wine to have with chili, and it's chili season. It's quarter zip season. It's football season. It's Oktoberfest season. And this is kind of my favorite time of the year.
Now, Kevin, if I went to the shop and I got a red wine like this, would you give me your chili recipe too? Or do I have to pay a little more for that?
Well, I certainly can. The thing that makes my chili better is my wife grows the tomatoes.
Oh,
and so
nice.
we blanch them, which means that you take the obviously the stem part out.
Right.
You boil them for a little bit till the skins are ready to fall off, and then you deskin them, and then you press all the juice and get the seeds out and whatever else. So you just have the flesh of the tomato, and then she'll freeze those in big gallon bags. And so I add a bag of that to my chili, and then that's what makes the difference.
Wow. Interesting.
Oh, we need this chili.
Yeah, I know. I'm asking for the recipe.
Describe chili like that, then
So next week,
we
wine and Uncle Kev's chili.
All right, that's fair enough.
You want to bring some chili?
Ground beef.
Strick's not invited though.
Yeah, we'll just do a whole hour then.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just chill for a whole hour.
Yeah.
Shoot me a text and remember it, so I'll remember, because it takes time, because you got to cook it a long time. You got to let it simmer down.
I'm gonna let you know on Tuesday, Wednesday.
Sure. Yeah. You have my number, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Yep. So real ground beef, peppers from my garden, onions, a couple of different kinds of beans, and then these are heirloom tomatoes, so they're fleshy. And then I'll put tomato juice in there just for broth, and then of course, and then the seasonings are all secret. But
the Frog Farm makes it the best.
I've got a secret ingredient for my chili. I make a mean chili.
Yeah,
macaroni noodles.
Oh, well, it's kind of a goulash.
No. Everyone says that. It's not a goulash.
It's not chili if you put noodles in it.
No, you only put in like a cup. You just do a little bit.
He makes dead man stew, call it chili.
No, he makes just a sprinkle of elbow macaroni. I'm telling you.
That's just filler.
I'm telling you. All right, you guys can't eat it then. I'll make it for everyone. I'll put a note. I'll say no Rico, no Jay. Kevin can have as much as you want.
You know what? Bring it next Thursday.
I will.
You just got vetoed off of Chili Island.
Everyone's
the three
gonna
commissioners.
Everyone's gonna say, you know what? That was the best chili I ever had, and you guys will be like, damn, I wish I could try it. And I'm saying, nope.
The milkman even capping on you on the text line. He said,
no, Jason says that's a Southern thing. Well, I'm from Virginia.
No, bring it next Thursday.
That's right. After Virginia Tech wins big, I'm buying everyone chili, making everyone chili, and you guys can't have any.
We'll see.
How about that?
We'll see.
How about that? Kevin, you can have as much. Take some home to your wife. Take some home to your wife.
Some of your chili?
Yeah,
with
you
the
take
noodles
as much chili as you want. Yeah.
That's called
how many dogs?
Yeah.
You got some animals?
Take as much as you want.
You got some animals?
Yeah, I've got 2 dogs.
Yeah, just go ahead, just give them.
Oh, they would love that too. They're boxers, so they're kitchen rats.
Kev will come back. Oh yeah, my wife loved it. Yeah.
No, don't. Hey, I'm telling you guys, don't knock it till you try it. All right, Kevin, what did we have today? How much does it cost?
We had Terra Rouge, which means red earth. It's a Syrah from the Sierra foothills and the Easton family, 2016, $26. And Prost Oktoberfest Marzen from Colorado. And these go for about $10 a 6-pack, 12-ounce can, come in at about 5.5 ABV. Just great tasting fall beer.
Pretty good.
Prost. There it is.
Prost. And that means cheers. Yeah,
See?
It's German for cheers.
Oh, look at this guy.
Yeah.
I know things. I pay attention.
I can tell you got some German blood in you.
Thank you. Oh, my wife does.
There you go.
With a name like Rico.
Yeah, I know. I pay attention. I got this. Look, what was it? I know somebody was taking a wine making class or like a wine tasting class, and I was like, you know about maceration? You know about tannins? I was letting them know.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we haven't learned that yet. And I was like, well, let me learn you some knowledge.
All right. Yeah. That's pretty stellar stuff. I'm proud. I'm a proud papa over here.
Thank you, Uncle Kev.
You betcha.
Well, thanks, Kev. It always goes by quick. We'll be waiting for your chili next week.
Yes.
Right,
shoot me a text. We'll make some.
Fine.
So for Rico, your little young protege, and Nate, the odd man out, we're going to go to break. We're going to be back for one more segment before the end of the hour.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Oktoberfest is back. Dust off your lederhosen and head to Kincaid Brewing in the Haymarket for one of their favorite parties of the year. Enjoy exclusive beers plus sausages and pretzels from the brand new Beer House. And make sure you get to Kincaid early to snag an Oktoberfest mug. It all starts at noon this Saturday with live music all the way through the day, plus cornhole, axe throwing, and Stein Stamina. It's Oktoberfest at Kincaid in the Haymarket starting at noon this Saturday.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a boot and clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Take your tan to the max at Max Tan. Right now, get 10 days for $10. All levels, including sun, spray, and red light. 4 Lincoln locations make it easy to take your tan to the max with no appointment necessary. 10 days, $10. Details online at maxtan.net.
An entire week celebrating Lincoln's Craft Brewers is just around the corner. September 26th through October 2nd is Lincoln Craft Brew Week. Head to lincoln.org/beer tour for a complete schedule of events at your favorite local establishments. Brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cotto. In high school football this week, Lincoln Southwest dominated the second half to beat Lincoln East Friday and moved to 3-0 in the season for the first time since 2009 and the fourth time in school history. Fremont defeated Lincoln Northeast 25-6, and the Lincoln Southeast Knights defeated Papillion La Vista 28-14. In prep volleyball, Adams Central defeated Lincoln Northwest in 2 sets. Bennington defeated Lincoln Southeast in 2 straight sets. Columbus defeated Lincoln High in 2 sets, and Norris defeated Lincoln Northwest in 2 sets. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu, locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Expect cloudy skies with a high of around 64 this afternoon. Winds turning out of the southeast around 10. We'll see a chance of showers pushing into the region late this afternoon. A continued chance of light rain tonight with a low of 52. Cloudy with chances of light rain tomorrow and a high of 68. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back, Old School. Nate, Jay, and Rico going to the end of the hour here. We got a quick little segment. You guys are recovered from your wine and beer tasting?
Yeah, no, that was great. Honestly, I'm not kidding you guys though. Like Kevin Meyer has actually made me kind of a wine guy.
Yeah,
I'm getting there.
Well, that's what it is. Uncle Kev's here to influence you.
Uncle Kev is the best uncle you could ask for.
Well, he does.
Lead you in the right direction.
Brings you beer and wine.
Yeah, on a Thursday. Start your football weekend off right. So
feeling good.
Yeah. How has your guys' bye week been? You guys decompress, breathe a little bit.
I've honestly, like, we started off talking about Nebraska football after the firing of Shenander, and then, you know, the Tuesday presser, and I guess Trev had some things to say, but for the most part, I've been trying to just steer away from it.
Yeah, it's a bye week.
Yeah.
Right?
Not much to talk about. I mean, they're practicing, they're doing their thing, but for the most part, I've been steering away from Nebraska football, so it's been pretty nice.
How about you, Nate?
I've been doing all right. I've been putting all my focus in Virginia Tech, to be honest with you, because I'm like, to be entirely honest with you guys, this game will probably decide the direction of Virginia Tech's season. Thursday night, you're in prime time, you're at home, it's a rivalry game. I know it's not an ACC game, but
it feels like one.
It feels like an ACC. It's an old Big East game, but it just feels like if you're a legitimate team and you're going to compete for an ACC championship, you got to win tonight.
Yeah.
And it's not an ACC game.
Those are big goals
weird
for you to talk about ACC championship.
Really is.
There's Miami,
the Coastal's
Miami's
trash.
There's Clemson.
Is Miami going to bench Van Dyke?
No.
Van Trask or no Van Dyke? Yeah, no. I'm thinking of
Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask.
I don't even know where he's at.
Yeah, no, it's
he's
with the Buccaneers. You're just one of those Virginia Tech fans that every year you think you're going to be.
You got to think. No. I'm saying compete for an ACC championship, as in win the Coastal, because Pitt has proven that they're not what they were with Kenny Pickett. Everyone could have guessed that. I mean, Slovis is good, but he's not Kenny Pickett.
Well, they want to run the ball more.
You're going to play against Pitt at home, and you're going to play against Miami at home. Those are probably your two biggest competition. They're both home games. And you're already 1-0 in the ACC because you beat Boston College earlier this season.
So your pathway is there.
The path is there.
A lot of season left.
There's a lot of season left. And again, this isn't even an ACC game, which is why it's so weird. But it just feels like this is the kind of game that defines your season.
Are you scared?
He's terrified.
I am.
He is terrified.
I'm absolutely terrified.
What are you scared of?
I think West Virginia, despite being 1-2, West Virginia is a good team.
They lost to Kansas, though.
I know. And I think Kansas
might be good.
I think Kansas might be good.
Kansas football looks a lot different. They got some athletes.
They do.
Yeah.
And I think West Virginia, despite the record, I know they're 1-2, they gave Pitt a fight. And they gave Kansas a fight. Like, this is not a bad football team. And they're a great offensive team, not great on defense.
And
Virginia Tech is a great defensive team, one of the best in the ACC, if not the best in the ACC.
Not good on
Terrible
offense.
on offense.
Fantastic.
So it's literally it's best on best.
You should play that.
It's best on best. Do you want to hear it?
You should play
Yeah,
that.
let's hear it.
You guys want to hear it?
Yeah,
All
you
right,
should
here
play
it is.
that.
It's a lot of fun. Anyway, do you want to play what you got
you should
me?
play what. Yeah.
What you got me?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
What the hell? Oh no!
Turn it up. Turn it up.
This is the song that Rico plays.
Turn
You
it
guys
up.
are on. Yeah.
Yeah, turn that up.
What the hell?
Yeah, turn that up.
I'll deal with it today. I should have known better. And you know the thing is, DP probably up there in his house laughing.
I hope he is. I hope he's listening.
Nate, we are going to break after this. I need a break.
Wait, let me play one more song.
Hold on. You have to let it finish.
We need a bye week after this.
Can I play my song
can't
after?
believe this.
Can I play my song?
No, I have to give you a fact.
All right, let me get one more song for you, Jay, and then we'll get to Barry
Anthony
Thompson.
Grant is tied for second in the nation in rushing yards with 496.
That's awesome.
The top three are Big Ten running backs.
And bamboozled this whole show. Let me
Chase
hear this,
Brown
Nate.
of Illinois, number 1. Muhammad Ibrahim and Anthony Grant tied for second.
Have you actually never heard "Take Me Home, Country Roads"? It's actually very popular. Do you know the song? Do you know what the song is actually about?
No,
There's
not
a great
doing that.
stage.
Just play it.
It's for you, Eric and Lincoln.
Almost heaven.
Virginia.
Blue Ridge Mountains.
You never heard this song?
No.
How dare you play the edited version?
You've never heard this song?
No.
This is the state of West Virginia. This is their song. And it's a great song. I appreciate them for this song.
Take me home
to the place I belong.
West Virginia.
Did you hear the actual
You're
part?
dumb. You're so dumb.
This song is about the state of Virginia. And I'm telling you right now, after Virginia Tech wins tonight, we take it back.
So he says West
We take it
Virginia.
back.
He says West Virginia. So West Virginia, the state of West Virginia has adopted it. But apparently it's about the western portion of Virginia.
The Blue Ridge Mountains and Shenandoah River flow through, about 80% of it flows through the state of Virginia.
So it's the 80%.
So it's about Virginia, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But West Virginia has claimed it as their state song.
But why are you so excited about this song? It sounds horrible.
The song is great. It's very catchy.
It's a good song.
It's a good song.
Well, we're going to break. The first song by Rico and that second one, that just really made me want to put to sleep. I think we got Barry Thompson coming up next. QB Guru. I'm going to ask him about his Raiders.
Raiders.
Coming up here in the next hour. Old School. We will be back in exactly 333 seconds.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cotto. In high school football this week, Lincoln Southwest dominated the second half to beat Lincoln East Friday and moved to 3-0 in the season for the first time since 2009 in the 4th time in school history. Fremont defeated Lincoln Northeast 25-6, and the Lincoln Southeast Knights defeated Papillion La Vista 28-14. In prep volleyball, Adams Central defeated Lincoln Northwest in 2 sets. Bennington defeated Lincoln Southeast in 2 straight sets. Columbus defeated Lincoln High in 2 sets, and Norris defeated Lincoln Northwest in 2 sets. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu, locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
An entire week celebrating Lincoln's craft brewers is just around the corner. September 26th through October 2nd is Lincoln Craft Brew Week. Head to lincoln.org/beer tour for a complete schedule of events at your favorite local establishments. Brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides. Shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate. When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club or space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Seasons change, but your land stays the same. You need the right solutions to keep you moving. That's why you rely on Acres Equipment, your Nebraska-owned premier John Deere dealership. Whether you're harvesting, protecting your crops, feeding the herd, maintaining your lawn, improving your business, or letting off some steam, Acres has what you need to get the job done. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, buying a used vehicle sucks, and the biggest problem is who can you trust? Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto out here at West O Street in Lincoln. Here's what customers have told us they want from us. They want transparent pricing with no games. We have all of our pricing on our website, plus a Carfax report. We don't want to buy a lemon. We include a 3-month warranty on all of our vehicles. We don't want to play games. Just make it simple. You saw that with non-commissioned salespeople. Can you trust us? Just check out our Google reviews. Again, this is Carl from Price Right Auto in West O. Check us out at pricerightauto.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're getting lots of steps in this fall between going to football and volleyball games. Are your shoes getting worn out? For the rest of September, when you stop by Brown Shoe Fit, you can take an additional 20% off the men's clearance rack sale price. The clearance rack has your favorite brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clarks, and more. Hurry in for the best selection in your size. The sale ends September 30th, so hurry in now for 20% off all shoes on the men's clearance rack at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back with Old School here in the last hour, starting at 5:04. We got our special guest, Barry Thompson, coming in But just like every superhero, he needs his theme music. Nate is not Deion Sanders, but hit Barry's theme music,
What?
please.
What do you mean I'm not Deion Sanders? What's that supposed to mean?
Because Deion Sanders has his own theme music. He's not Deion. It's Barry. So hit Barry's theme music.
All right.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song, he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
There it is, Barry. That's the best part. That's the best part of that song right there, man.
It is the best part of the song, and you played enough. It's actually seasonal. We're heading in the fall.
Yep.
It's a good thing. It's football, man.
Let's go. It's one of those the part of the song where you remember the old the NFL films, and they'd play it, and it would be Raiders celebrating the victory. Always it used to be like muddy. They probably playing the Dolphins or Pittsburgh. So it does always bring back some nostalgia and good memories. So we got Barry Thompson in here. Barry, obviously, you keep a close look in on Nebraska football. From your perspective, offensively, what was so different? Obviously last game versus the first three, considering what the offense was able to do at times in the first three versus obviously against Oklahoma, even though their defense is pretty good this year.
Well, the opponent had something to do with it, and then Jay, and anytime, just at my observation, my experience is when there's an offensive change, especially at the upper levels of college football and certainly in the pros, you can get very, very excited in the first couple of games. Like, oh man, this is really good, and this is what we want to see. And there's a tendency to forget that there are professionals who are paid to stop all that mess. And so then once the professionals get 2 or 3, kind of games on tape, they begin to understand, okay, this is what they're doing. This is what we're going to take away. And then it's like, okay, now what can you do? And so the next step is how quickly the adjustments to being stopped can be installed and interpreted by the team. It's not necessarily coming up with a whole different game plan. It's just that if they are doing this to take this away, then what's the small adjustments that we make to go get what they're giving us? And so I think, that's the fourth game, right? Third or fourth game that they played this year.
Yeah, fourth game.
Third.
The fourth game.
Yeah, it usually happens around the fourth game.
Right.
That the professionals on the other side, the defensive coordinators, they have enough of a look, enough of an understanding. Okay, this is what they're doing. Okay, this is how we're going to play to take that away. And I think that's what you saw, in addition to the opponent.
Right. And Barry, obviously there was some, again, Oklahoma's defense was pretty good, or played that, at least that, that game they looked like they were hitting on all cylinders. To when you are coaching kids and then obviously calling plays and you see the defensive line having a good day against your offensive line, what are the couple of things that you might do from a play calling standpoint to relieve the pressure from a quarterback? Is it like more of a short controlled passing game, maybe some motion and shifts to kind of make the defensive line think a little bit more along with the second level, or do you try to focus on trying to establish a run game or a combination of all three that I mentioned before?
Everything you just said.
Yeah.
When you're involved in a game where things aren't going right, you're just really trying to, within a small range, figure out, what it is that you can do to get something going. And so, yes, if you're having a protection problem, there might be small adjustments you can make to a scheme that typically is going to take a receiver out of a pattern. The other thing you can do is focus on getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands as quickly as possible. But that's not a long-term solution, because when defenses understand that you're not going very deep, they start to tighten up, and it gets really tough. The other thing that you can have kind of going, and this is kind of like an offensive plan, right? That you go into the season and you want to be able to execute your stuff, but you also want to anticipate, hey, if we have problems here, what are the things that we can do? The other thing that's common is moving the launch point for the quarterback, right? So you can have them move out of the pocket a little bit. But that has to be something that kind of envisioned, from the beginning. It's not something you just make up in the middle of the game. And of course, a screen game helps. But if you're not really good at the screen game, then, it's tough, in the middle of the game to kind of execute one of those things, right? So, yes, those are the logical things. You just can't run the ball. You're not running the ball well. Hey, can we get it out faster? Can we change the launch point? Screens. Those are the most logical things that you would go to. But you have to have those in your system.
Right.
And it can be, too, that you may want to do them, but your team doesn't do them well, right? So even though it's a logical answer, not all linemen are created equal.
That is
right?
true.
So having those guys, you may look at in practice, man, I was like, crap, we're not a good screen team. And so then that reduces the types of things that you may have for answers for those days. And when you get into them, it's just really tough.
Barry, we're going to skip all around today, and we talked about the bye week, right? And I always think it's important for especially a young team that hadn't had success this year, but then a young, inexperienced team like Nebraska is, it's a bye week to rest, but it's not a time to totally forget about football. So take us through a bye week. Say like a player is on a bye week and they come back and see you. Do you say, hey, look, let me look at a couple games and then we're going to work on your weaknesses? Or do you just go back to, say, your fundamentals of what you kind of trained them on in the previous years and leading up to the season?
Well, as you know, Jay, all bye weeks aren't created equal.
That is true.
Right? So a team that's, say, undefeated rolling in the bye week, that bye week is going to be a lot different than a team that's not quite right, or a bye week where maybe you're have a good record, but you got a lot of people banged up.
Right.
So then that bye week's going to be different. So, and then early bye weeks are different than later bye weeks. So it really depends. It's a total feel thing from the coaching staff that's kind of looking at their players and figuring out, okay, what does this group need the most? What do they need the most? What's going to be the best for them? The rest is involved, but in terms of your points of emphasis, for everybody out there, you got to understand all bye weeks are not the same. You look at Nebraska now. I'm guessing their bye week's going to be a pretty heavy, maybe not physically, but a combination of a very focused period of time of getting basic things right, getting them correct, and being able to execute those things, and then finding the guys who can execute those things. I from afar, just listening what Mickey, Coach Josephs has said, and the change that they had defensively, I think that the bye week for the defensive players is going to be maybe
huge.
A lot different than maybe for the offensive players.
Right.
The offensive players, we kind of hinted at, hey, we don't have the menu that we may need if we get into a game like that. So that might be just covering that. But defensively, I think Coach Joseph has said very clearly what he intends to be the defensive emphasis. Run fits, line up correctly, let's go play. And if you can't do it, let's go find somebody who can.
How much improvement, can you see, or in your experience, right? I really think that defensively, if you get, when the light kind of goes on and is shining bright, you can turn around how you play defense. I think in like a week of practice, or just a couple of days, and everybody starts to get it. In your opinion, in your experience, actually, how fast or what's been the process have you seen teams that have been struggling on offense or defense, and then a change in philosophy, coach, maybe even a starter here or there, and then boom, you're like, man, we started to click on some not all cylinders, but we started to be more consistent?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen teams. Units are different, right, than teams, right? I don't know that I've seen teams. The teams that kind of take off that I've seen, that they tend to have some event that galvanizes them, and that changes. And I think that makes the team. Like, you can run through practice and do all that stuff, but it may be hard for some of the listeners to understand. But for a lot of teams, they just remain separate fingers of part of the same hand.
Right.
And there's got to be some galvanizing event where those fingers become a fist. And so, that's why you can look at teams that look really talented and got experience, and they just don't seem to kind of maximize, what you think they're capable of.
Right.
And then you look at another team and it's like, who is that guy? Who is that guy? And they're just storming through things. So I think teams need a galvanizing event. What they kind of typically happens on the field. There's a game or something that they fight through, and it's tough, and they get through it, and all of a sudden you see the cohesion of all three units, and that team takes off. Unit, defensively, I do agree with you, right? You can have, on a defense, you can easily have one guy or two or three guys taking turns making mistakes at the wrong time,
right,
and making the whole shebang a bad day, right?
Yep.
You get those one or two things figured out, or you get a person to give you an extra push, you get a person to be a little more solid, or lo and behold, you get a person to do what they're supposed to do every play. That guy,
right,
that guy alone. If you're talking about a defense and you have a guy who's supposed to play turnback or just make sure nobody's coming back, like that kind of rocket science role on the defense goes away from you. Hey, you're supposed to check for cutback. That guy, three or four times a game, barely makes a tackle. That changes the game.
Right.
So I agree. The other thing with defensive units, the big word for them is if you can simplify it for them, they know where their eyes are supposed to be. That leads them to playing faster. Right? Play fast, you cause problems. The biggest thing a defensive lineman can do is get off the ball.
Right.
You get all the hands that you get off the ball. You win those first 12 inches, you're on your way to a very good day for your defense. So getting the defense to play fast by reducing things, make it simple, everybody understanding what they're supposed to do, reducing checks, calls, things like that. All that stuff can help. Offensively, you tend to have a problem if you're not producing. Right? If you're not productive, there tends to be an issue. It can be personnel, it can be scheme, it can be whatever. It could also be that the right person isn't getting the ball enough.
Sure.
That's easily corrected. That's easy. And it can also be that the right people aren't involved in the play.
Mm.
So I think I've mentioned this before. I can draw up any trips kind of combination I want to draw it up. But if I got Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, and and Devontae Adams running, it becomes a better play.
Yeah.
So those are things that can affect you offensively. So hopefully get them straightened out.
Yeah. In your opinion, what are the few things that the offense could do, or when we're not here to coach the coaches, but could look into doing to get back to where they were starting to kind of take off a little bit? I know opponents kind of obviously could smoke screen you a little bit, but going into the Big Ten, what are the few things that they could continue to do and improve upon, and accentuate to lead to more consistent scoring and drives, so you don't have 12 out of 14 drives that are empty?
Right. I think there has to be a clear decision made. Are we going to run to set up the pass? Or are we going to pass to set up the run?
Right.
Grant has shown some ability to gain yards and run. So then how do you want to do that? Do you want to buckle down and say, hey, we can run, and that run will set up the passing that we do? Or is it that, hey, we're judging from in here, the best way to do is to throw the ball to set up the run? Now, I tie those two things together because this obviously isn't a team that can take the field against anybody and put up 40 points.
Sure.
Right. So then, this isn't the greatest show on turf, but we can run they can run the ball,
right,
and they can complete passes. So then how do you want to use those two things? What is the cohesive kind of plan of attack? Because those two things do have to be tied together, I think, to maximize the effectiveness of this offensive unit, right?
Right.
Because there's people that if you get them the ball in their hands, they can go do stuff, but they can't do everything.
Right.
They can't do everything. And so why are you passing the ball? You know, why are you running the ball? What is the reason for it? So I think if that gets into gets more organized and more cohesive, right? Then rather than just having these big explosive pass plays and then having big explosive runs, and you can see there's times when that doesn't lead to anything.
Right.
So how are we tying it in?
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to ask you is about adjusting your offensive philosophy to your personnel, whether it's going into the season or how the season is going, and that could be whether it's injuries or somebody really steps up. Talk about the process of that, where you start a season and thinking, okay, this is what we're going to do, and then we got to pivot, because then you got an Anthony Grant that really starts off hot, or starts and then he starts to gain momentum. Then you got to change to maybe thinking about maybe pounding the ball a little bit. Talk about that process as a play caller, as a coach, and how that might change up your dynamics of not only how you practice, but then also your playbook or your call sheet per se, especially early in the game.
So Jay, you've been watching our practices. We're down here.
Hey, I always got an eye on you, man. I got
Yeah, that's exactly what's kind of happened. We have a very young team, a high volume of sophomores playing varsity in a very competitive district, and there was one point where we didn't think we had any running backs because guys were kind of injured, and then there were guys we thought we had a running back, but the defense really needed them, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly we found out that the quarterback can really run the ball, that he could really run the ball. Not like a Michael Vick. He's an inside power, quarterback power guy, and he was making yards. He scored 37 yards on a quarterback sneak, first series of the game against a tough opponent. But as that's come into play, our running back situation has solidified, right? So initially we thought, hey, we need to get the ball here, and then he showed the propensity to run. So now you're starting to devise things that look like he might be running, and now we're giving to the backs. Now we're getting a complement of backs, and now we can go to a split back look, right?
Right.
Now we have three runners back there plus a thrower to worry about. So that's an evolution that this kind of unit went through. I think you can do the same thing within the offensive structure that any team's laid out, and it's really driven by, hey, that guy's really effective. Let's get him the ball a little bit more. Right now, as we give him the ball a little bit more, and that has to be defended. Okay, what's going to be available, or what makes that thing that he does more indefensible? And so then now you're tying in, you're running to set up the pass, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have to do this now to stop him, and he's getting your attention, you're definitely giving up something somewhere else. So what can I do offensively to make you go back and pay attention to this other thing, so I can get back to, in this case, giving Grant the ball? It's that tied in philosophy, and it's also a philosophy. You mentioned defense. It has to do with not just units fitting together, but the team fitting together.
Right.
Right. So all this, yes, we want to put up points on the board, but the reason I kept mentioning run is because there's times when you don't want your defense on the field.
Yeah.
you don't want them on the field.
Yeah, everybody needs a break, man. It's this is the funny thing.
And we need the ability not to get a quick possession and get off the field.
Yeah, I think
know what I mean?
Yeah, and I want to get your one quick question before we go into our first break. People always are talking about tempo, right? And there's this like weird thought process that the defense is only, the only 11 players that get tired. Just talk about tempo and what it really means, and why teams run it, and what the advantages of going up tempo against a certain team or throughout your whole season as an offense.
Well, to real quickly, I think one of the most interesting tempo teams out there right now is SMU. So if you haven't seen them play, go watch them play. they play very fast without being rushed.
Right.
I haven't seen that before. We've seen all the cards and everything else and yelling, screaming. They have a system. Their coach Lashley, I think it is, and this guy Mordecai. If you look at him, I think he's a top in passing stats. They're very interesting when it comes to tempo. That's one thing. The other thing with tempo isn't always going fast. Sometimes it's slowing it down and doing it. And then there's a medium thing. And I think one of the most universal effective tempos is if you could decide as an offensive unit, hey, if we have a play that's 15 yards or more, bang, let's get up and get on the ball before the defense gets itself together.
Right.
And have a play or two or three that we can call right away and go. I think those are the three things. Going fast like SMU and how they execute it, slowing the game down when it needs to be done, and then that little surprise tempo, I think, are the ones that are major, and they can be effective as long as the team, can execute it well.
Right. Well, we're going to go in the break here, Barry. We're going to take a 4 or 5 minute break here, and then we're going to come back, and then I get to ask you about that Raiders-Cardinals game, the quarterback play, and where you're at as a Raiders fan. I know I was thinking about you as I was watching it, but I want to get your thoughts on the quarterback play of Kyler Murray and Carr, and then obviously the state of the Raiders. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bachhoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Quilliers, and Brant Excavating.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. Stand-up forklift and high-reach forklift experience is a plus for open positions, but they're willing to train for those without experience. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance to make your project go smooth. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online at deckcityne.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
It's tailgate season. Why would you bounce around from place to place for all your beverage needs when you could have it all in one place? Wine, Beer, and Spirits has everything for your parties with their 3 locations in Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. It's the largest liquor store in the state, and here's the best part. You can get a drink from their bar and walk around with it as you shop for all your tailgate necessities. Locally owned and operated, it's Wine, Beer, and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer 2 of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room, located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital. Boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Right now, they have tons of Oktoberfest beers, and you could check out their Odell Brewing, Imperium Brewing, and Sam Adams selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Old School, sponsored by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese beef butcher shop featuring fresh hand-cut Piedmontese beef in their unique ingredients. We have Barry Thompson, quarterback coach, offensive guru, Raiders extraordinaire fan. You have to be a special person to be a Raiders fan because Raiders fans, I'm going to tell you about one thing I've learned about Raiders fans. This is one before the NFL, during, and after. They are about the Raiders. 4-15 or no 4-13 now, or 4-12. They still think next year is the year with the Raiders because they always used to draft the fastest guy in the draft, even though a lot of times they couldn't play. So we have Barry Thompson here. I always feel I watch the Raiders for two reasons now. Like when I can, one, they had one of the most exciting games last year with the Chargers, but two, my mom lives in Vegas now. And that's so she loves the Raiders, and I would say everything in Vegas, and then Barry because you're a Raiders fan. Yeah. So Barry, we're going to dive right in. First of all, I always wanted to ask you this after I saw this. Right, this has to do with Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
And his contract and him, them making him study 4 hours. He has to study 4 hours a week or whatever it was, and then obviously he got his little feelings hurt. How would you go about coaching, mentoring him, because you know him as a person, and we all know he's a gamer, and obviously the way he plays late in the season, or had been playing in late in the season, you could tell his film work started to subside. How would you go about trying to get into his head to get him to reach his true potential through 17 games instead of like the first 6 like he usually is every year?
Yeah, so I don't know. First of all, just a quick aside on that contract stuff. It's like, I just thought either he should have fired his agent or he should have signed the clause. Like that, if one of those two things were done, if the agent brought that to me and said, yeah, they finally gave you the money you want, but here's what you have to do.
Right.
I'd be like, wait a second. First of all, the agent's supposed to protect me, and he says, look, here it is, I'll bring it to you, but I'm going to tell you, you got your money, but this isn't going to look good, right?
Right.
That's the type of agent I'm supposed to have. And if the agent isn't that good, I have to have enough sense of how that's going to make it look when I do sign it.
Right.
So to me, that brings up the one adage, it's just a life thing. You should never do anything for money or not do something because of money, right? That's just a financial thing. So after he signed it, then boom, the stuff gets out and you got to deal with it, and he doesn't look good. And is it true or not true? I have no idea, right?
Right.
The fact that his performance tails off at the end of the season, is it related to that or this? I don't know, but we do know the performance tails off when you're supposed to be getting stronger. Cool?
Right. Yep.
So to me, that's how that whole controversy went. I'll either fire the agent or not sign the contract. I mean, if I'm a quarterback, and you bring me some money and say you can get the money, but you got to say that you don't work hard. I'm like, how does that even work, right? And how's that even being brought up? Right, is the other thing. Anyway, that's in the past. You heard of the actor F. Murray Abraham? Have you ever heard that name, F. Murray Abraham?
I have.
Yeah, you've heard the name. You don't know. Well, Kyler F. Murray is now his full name with me. I watched the game, and there were a series of those games. I think 3 or 4, right, where teams got up.
Yeah.
Right, it looked like they had it in control. I think 2 by 20 or more, and then teams came back and won the games, and his was one of them.
Right.
Though one play, I don't know if you saw it, where he ran around for
20 seconds. Yeah.
And 84 yards total they measured, and he went in. And then the throw, was it the winning throw in the end zone?
Yeah, at the back of the end zone.
Where the timing and the trajectory of that throw.
Yeah.
Was just off the chart. So it took that type of effort to beat who are going to be the eventual Super Bowl winners this year. It took that effort. And what dawned on me as he was starting to come back, I don't know why I didn't think about this, Dave. I said, that's when a gun's playing with a chip on his shoulder this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got a good player who's good anyway, and he's pissed off.
Yeah. And
he's talented.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. I think with Kyler Murray, there's a joke out there saying he looks like a little kid that's running away from his parents after he stole his cell phone just because of his short little steps. I just wonder, here's what I want to get your opinion. It seems to me he plays better down by 20 versus the game where, it's within 3. You get what I mean? Seems like when he's in a better state of mind when he can kind of wheel and deal and just kind of play backyard football.
And so that kind of gets to your other point, right? Remember Randall Cunningham?
Yes.
That some guys within a structure, they're just not as effective as if you let them go play football. And Randall toward the end, right, or actually toward the middle, Buddy Ryan let him go play football. And then as he got older, he kind of learned how to play within the structure.
Right.
And I think Kyler might be one of those guys where you just let him be Kyler a little bit. And then, slowly kind of get it to where, hey, you're going to get older. You're not going to be running for, let's learn a little bit more about how to play within the structure.
Right.
Rather than kind of, he brought up, DP and I have mentioned this before, David Deacon Jones, one of the greatest pass rushers in the NFL, would curse when he had to play a guy named Fran Tarkenton.
Right, yeah.
And Fran famously would run around and had plays like, if you go back and any of your listeners go back and put Fran Tarkenton scramble into YouTube, you're going to see some amazing things. Deacon always wondered why the NFL didn't have more quarterbacks like that. Right. And when you watch a guy like Kyler play, you kind of start to wonder. I mean, there's no other quarterback in the NFL that could have put together those 2 plays together.
Right. Yeah.
He's on one
under pressure,
but couldn't put those. And those 2 plays won the game.
Right.
And beat a pretty good team.
Barry, when you look at a player like Kyler Murray, we'll get to Card next, but with Kyler Murray, if you just said if Kingsbury just said, hey, you know what, I like what I just saw in that last second half, and we our efficiency went up, and we kind of started to kind of mix in some run. Do you think that style of play could last 17 games and a career, or is it kind of like, let's save this for, kind of like Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson kind of always, if you kept it close with Russell Wilson, then you get 2 minutes left. Russell Wilson would do it the same type of stuff. Obviously, I think Kyler Murray's faster, but Russell Wilson would do that as well. Do you think it's sustainable throughout a whole season and a career, or is something that you always want to just keep in your back pocket just to make sure that you can always go to it?
I go back to Fran Tarkenton.
Right.
How long did he play?
He played a while.
The thing was he played for a good little while. I mean, the thing about that style of play is, one, I don't think coaches know how to coach it. Right? So
yeah, there's only one person knows how to do that. That's Kyler.
Right. If you don't understand, how do you coach it?
Yeah.
Right. So then let's talk about men and, ego and justifying salaries and stuff like that. How do you go to practice and say, okay, Kyler, we're going to run this, and then if you get in trouble, you know what I mean? Like, how do you coach it? So that's a problem, not because somebody's resistant to it, but then how do I physically coach it? That's one. There have been a lot of young, talented quarterbacks in the league who are very, quote, wild, and over time they begin. Brett Favre.
Yes, at the beginning of his career, it was
Brett
the same.
Favre with Mike Holmgren up the sideline, and Brett did something that wasn't in the script, and he went off, and Holmgren said, "Get him out of the game." He's talking to Andy Reid.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Wait a second. Don't take him out."
Yeah.
But it takes a special coach to figure out how am I gonna work this. Like I said, Buddy Ryan gave Randall Cunningham wheels, right?
Right.
And it was effective. Let me put it another way. All right. Take the Cardinals and take Kyler Murray out of the equation. Go put another guy in who can run one progression, two, run on your side. Are they a better team?
Probably not.
Okay, then.
Well, I mean, what do you think? I mean, I think, with DeAndre Hopkins, Green, and downtown, I mean, they might be, but I think Kyler Murray, during the regular season, really causes a lot of problems. I'm looking at it more like, can he win playoff games and teams where teams can actually game? I'm thinking Bill Belichick thinking,
right,
well, hey, he only likes to roll to his right, and we are just going to rush 5 guys over there, and then try to make them one-sided. I'm looking at it like that.
Yeah, I got you. And then I'm saying, let him get to that point.
Right.
And here's the thing about Kyler: there's athletes. Well, I think I brought this up before. Athletes will act like jackasses, right? And they'll do it for 2 reasons. One, because they're just a jackass, right? You get them off the team. But other ones will act up because they want to win. Kyler impresses me as a guy who may act up and pout and throw a fit sometimes because he wants to win.
Right.
And I'm going to find a way, and he's going to be a truth teller. If he doesn't think that he has the talent to do what he needs to do, he's going to say something to that.
Right.
Right. He's not going to take the check. And there may be people. So to me, those atmospheres are the things that I think have to be worked out more than any particular player or his style of play. Because if you work those atmospheres out, you give him a real chance to win. I think this guy's going to produce for you. And can you take him away? Can you take any quarterback away? Right?
Right.
Everybody has tendencies. We're human. So, Belichick took Peyton Manning away for a couple of series, right?
Yeah.
So Peyton kind of figured out what was going on. So that can be done, defensively. But it's an interesting premise that they're trying to work out in Arizona, and it'll be interesting to see how they do it.
And I want to get over to your Raiders. What do you think? Because on paper, it seems like the Raiders' offense should be explosive everything because they got to run it. They have everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's just they need a little bit more time to gel and kind of figure out, Josh McDaniels' offense and what he really wants to get done, or is it too much of Derek Carr and Adams rekindling what they tried to do in college and not enough Renfro? Then they got the tight end Whaler. So what do you think that's really stopping them from being, on paper they should be one of the best offenses in the league?
Right. And I'll say all that, but I'll go back to my point earlier. I think they as a team need some galvanizing event that's going to bring them together, right? So that you don't have these 5 fingers on the hand, right? That offensively the unit becomes a fifth. And just like I was saying in the Nebraska context, you got to figure out, hey, are we going to run to pass the ball? Are we going to pass to run the ball? They're going to have to figure out who that offense runs through, right? You got that much talent. You only have one football.
Right.
So who is it that's going to be the point here? And then how does everything else fit around it? And what are the roles involved? They do that. And I'm not too excited about this loss, too, because it took a very superhuman play by a very talented by a very talented player for that to happen, right? And so, okay, that's not going to happen every week. So for me, watching them against Tennessee, and then I think they have somebody else, and then they go Tennessee, Denver, and then Kansas City. So with them, after the Kansas City Monday night game, what's the record, where they stand?
Right.
I think that's going to give you a good indication of who they are or who they could be as a team. But teams need to And it's tough in this day and age where your roster can change over so much, right?
Yeah. There's
right?
a lot more trades in the NFL.
The roster's changing, right? And everybody's in there fighting to, hey, I just want to, be in one place. I got my kids in school, right? I don't want to have to move for the next year. So what do I have to do to keep my job type of thing? People don't always think about that they are professionals going to work just like everybody else. And you want to keep your job. You don't want to have to move, 6 months from now and buy a new house, and your wife have to find another job and pull your kids out of school, right? So there's that kind of aspect. So when does that kind of grow into a team? And here, now I'm playing for you type of thing, right? Or I'm playing for this guy. I really love him a lot. And I really, I'm a Raider, that type of thing. It takes you a while to grow into those clothes.
Yeah. Well, good. We got through the Raiders and Cardinals game. It's probably a game you want to forget. But, Barry, we're going to go to break real quick and get a short segment before we end old school. I want to ask you about where Nebraska goes from here and your opinions on what could be. We'll be back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
The Ticket Water Cooler with Jake Bakoven and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I thought this season was about the buyout. Maybe the season was truly about belief in Scott Frost turning it around. I don't know if I'm the idiot for thinking it was about the buyout or if they're the idiot for thinking that Scott Frost was going to truly turn it around.
Maybe you think you put somebody's feet to the fire, they might change a little bit.
The whole idea just didn't make any sense to me.
It really did.
16-31, you got to do something. He was 15-29. It's the same win percentage.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's Fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Your friends at Koppel Insurance Agency reminds everyone the back-to-school season is meant to be a fun time for our kids. Please make it a safe one. Slow down through school zones and never go around a stop school bus. This message has been brought to you by Koppel Insurance Agency. If you're looking for insurance, call 402-475-3213. They are honest and fair. For a solid insurance program to meet your every need, see Koppel Insurance Agency. They're wishing all of our children a safe and successful school year.
Trendy or traditional, Gary Michaels Clothiers specializes in men's tailored clothing. Off the rack or custom made to measure, there is simply no better shopping experience. Offering designer furnishings, sportswear, shoes, outerwear, and accessories for a man always concerned at looking his best. With world-class tailoring and personal service, all makes Gary Michaels Clothiers Nebraska's premier store for men. Come visit us now at Village Gardens, south of 56th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln.
An entire week celebrating Lincoln's craft brewers is just around the corner. September 26th through October 2nd is Lincoln Craft Brew Week. Head to lincoln.org/beer tour for a complete schedule of events at your favorite local establishments. Brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer two of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room, located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital, boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nate Brennan on the ones and twos, bringing us back in with a little Snoop. It's fitting because Snoop's a Raiders and Steelers fan, right, Barry?
And you didn't know this, Jay, but Barry is a Cavaliers fan. So we got a little beef tonight. What before you guys get into your talk, Barry, are my Hokies going to pull it out tonight? Did we lose him?
We lose Barry? Well, I'll speak for Barry. Nope, it's over.
What do you mean it's over?
Wait, yeah, I'm here. Listen, the 2 things. The West Virginia and the Virginia Tech game is a thing, and it always has been a thing.
Thank you.
There's that. But first of all, you talking about winning the Coastal. Virginia's 2-1. Tech's 2-1. I mean, we beat ODU. So what are we talking about winning the Coastal?
Exactly. Tighten them up, Barry.
No.
Tighten them up, Barry. Let them go.
We beat Boston College.
First. Take care of ODU first, then come talk.
Hey, Virginia Tech is 1-0 in the ACC. That's what matters. 1-0 in the ACC.
They are.
Hey, Barry.
But more specifically, you go ahead.
Barry, he wants to win the first quarter of the season Coastal Division Championship.
Me and Barry got a chicken wing bet on the Virginia Tech UVA game. So
yeah. Now about the Jay, I don't know if you ever experienced it when I was coming out of school. It wasn't the Virginia Tech that you kind of went to, right? It was just Virginia Tech, but I went down. They took me down to recruiting visit on the weekend where they were playing West Virginia, and Virginia Tech sits in kind of the southwestern part of Virginia.
Yep.
And you're not far from West Virginia line, and I'm telling you, there was a game, and the vibe of that game was like the cousins from opposite sides of the family came to meet, and West Virginia and the Tech were fighting it out on the field. I mean, the muskets, the whole thing, awesome atmosphere for a game. And as I told Nate, I'm proud of all things Virginia. So I'm hoping that Tech pulls it out tonight.
So is it more intense than Virginia Tech? Because Keon Carpenter was one of my best friends, played there. Then Pearson Prelo, who works there at Virginia Tech. And Corey Moore, they said that Virginia Tech was serious.
It's hatred.
Yeah, I kind of get mad when DP characterized UVA as preppy and all that stuff. They are into it. This is more people in Southwest Virginia on different sides of the divide line all getting together. There's a lot of blue collar. It's just a different vibe. I tell you what, it's like comparing Pittsburgh Steelers Cleveland Browns type game where something's at stake when they're playing.
Right.
That's what that kind of atmosphere is versus I don't know what the analogy is, but yeah, it's a different vibe and
so
really
it's a battle of zip codes, who's tougher, because both of them claim that hard working, blue collar, towns,
and they hate each other.
And they hate each other because they, one thinks one works harder than the other. So it is Pittsburgh.
Virginia Tech alumni work harder, isn't that right, Barry?
Work harder than West Virginia?
Than UVA.
No. Come on. I was trying to keep it in the box for you.
Yeah.
Stay focused on Thursday night.
So the comparison
Stay
of
focused
you.
on Thursday night. We're family tonight.
That's right. That's right. Hey, we need the support, Barry. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Definitely need the support.
UVA against Virginia Tech is like Baltimore Ravens against Pittsburgh. It's personal.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Well, Barry, I was at that. I think it was 2017 where they renewed the rivalry, Virginia Tech, West Virginia at FedEx Field. That was a good game too. That was both teams were ranked.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That game is a low key type of game that has a great vibe and a great game to go to if you ever see it on your calendar. Yep.
Barry, I wanted to ask you. We got a couple more minutes. Obviously Nebraska's in the bye week, and obviously we've had a lot of changeover with new head or coach getting fired, new head coach, and then new defensive coordinator being let go, and new defensive coordinator. What do you expect out of Nebraska? From obviously this first week coming out, and then what can you foresee, possibly in the next 8 weeks?
Baby steps, right? So defensively, you want to see people line up. You want to see. I listen to Coach Joseph, right? So I listen to him, and I hope the players and the assistant coaches listen to him. That's what he said is what you want to see, right? Let's see that the next game, that we don't have these busted plays and people aren't running all over us, and and the tackling, right, which has gotten a little bit better the last couple of weeks. But let's tackle people. Let's line up in our guy. Let's get our run fits down. Let's know where we're supposed to be in coverage, and let's go play football. And then offensively, start working out that premise. Which are we doing? Right. So we got the tools there. So if you see that in the next game, just wipe the score. I know we want to win every game week. I know Nebraska win every game, but understand where they are. Right. And from this point now, does it look better? Does it look more cohesive? They do that. Eliminate mistakes, eliminate penalties, don't turn the ball over. Those two sets of things will win football games. Northwestern's been doing it for years.
Right. So Barry, are you looking for progress, or are you looking for W's, or do you have a win total or progress?
I think you always want to win,
right?
You always want to win. But if they win and things are getting blown apart defensively and it's 34-36 and win the game, you're happy with the win, but you still got to know the winning can cover up a multitude of sins.
Exactly.
It can. Right. So if you want this to be on the path for a championship thing, what you want is the win, and you want to see this solid
progress.
Play.
Yeah.
Defense, right? The progress, and you want to see an offense that can begin to control the game a little bit,
right.
Whether scoring or there's times when they're going to hold the ball, all that stuff. You want to begin to see that. And so if it doesn't result in the win, but you see that, okay, this is getting better, and you want to see it progress from there and not go backwards.
There it is. Barry Thompson-Hour, the man, the legend, the Raider fan. Thanks, Barry. Always too quick. We'll be talking to you soon, bro. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is Old School. We are out of here. It's 6 o'clock, man. It goes by quick, man. Me and Nate O'Brennan. DP will be back tomorrow or Monday. We are out.